So I'm from Institute for Molecular Medicine Finland, and I'm going to tell you about our pilot study, DHR pilot study, what we have done. I will show you some data, some results, but if you are interested in hearing more results, come to our poster, video poster, so we have more results there, and then I have more results here, and we can discuss more then. But I was asked to say something about B4 medicine here in the beginning. So we are of course interested in MyData, and we have been working with Harri and Mika and others around that. But then we are also interested in B4 medicine, predictive, preventive, personalized and participatory medicine, how to bring that to the current healthcare system. And then we are also interested in omics profiling. So B4 medicine, it has been launched by Professor Leroy Wood from Seattle. And the driving forces behind B4 medicine are systems medicine, systems biology, digital revolution, big data analytics, and social networking. And we have tried to combine all of those in our pilot study. And then pioneer in this personalized integrative omics, deep omics profiling is Mike Snyder. And I think this one was one of the first type of research reports that was published in 2012, and just now in June, Leroy Wood, they published their pilot project. So if you are interested in published research, which is similar to our study, so please go and look for these papers. And both Wood's group and Mike Snyder's group, they are continuing their studies. They are doing bigger studies at the moment. And then there's one study going at Scilab, where our PI Olli Kallioniemi is at the moment, and where I went just a couple of weeks ago, so we are both there. But they are doing also a similar study there at Scilab lab. So, but our study, so this is the fourth one going at the moment in the world. So we are doing next generation personalized health intervention study, where we try to combine or integrate multi-omics profiling, digital monitoring, and then other types of personal data. We have general aims or study questions, and of course during the way there have come more specific study questions, but the big aims are, well, the first, should I say, obstacle was to get an ethical approval for this study. It took some time, and if you're interested in that discussion, we can discuss later more. But the things we mainly discussed was that this is a new type of study, kind of. So they said that you are collecting a huge amount of data and then you are just going to mine it. So they thought that we should have more specific study questions, which we didn't then have. So that was one. Then of course they questioned if this is beneficial or harmful to the participants. Is it okay that we will biobank all the data and all the samples? Can we do that because we have new data types? And what else? Then we also discussed data safety and things like that. I will try to go through these other aims quickly. So this is just a pilot study. And we wanted to test how to collect the samples and data types that we are collecting. How to do that in 100 people. And how should we do it if we wanted to collect the same thing for 1,000 or 10,000 people and so on. So what we did was that we recruited 107 healthy participants. Well, that I don't know if anyone here is healthy, but they were not supposed to have any serious diseases, but it was okay if they had hypertension or problems with their blood lipids or sugars and so on. And 97 of these participants continued the whole study. I think it's quite well. So we had 5 study visits during 14 months, and at each visit we collected blood and urine samples, and then the participants themselves collected also feces and saliva samples. So we did it 5 times. And the data types that we collected, so we had health questionnaire at every study visit. It's like 150 to 200 question long, so really long questionnaire. We did basic health checkup and basic clinical labs. Then we have done some genomics analysis. At the moment we are running metabolomics and proteomics analysis. We're still thinking what to do with the transcriptomics because this is quite an expensive study so far, so we need a lot of money to do those. So we need to think what we really do at the moment. From cell understanding we have analyzed cortisol as a stress marker, and then we have done a pilot study on the microbiome, and we will continue that to the present examples. So what is specific or unique to our study compared to the other studies at the moment is these digital footprints, or this is what we have done with Harri and others. So we have collected food purchasing data from the study period and then also 16 months before the study. And then we have used activity watches and different types of apps to collect data, quantified self-data. And then if participants wanted, they were able to do different types of tests. So quite a lot of different data and different data types. And we didn't have control group, so each participant is his or her own control. After the second study visit, we started giving back key actionable data, and at that point the participants also got their activity watches and different apps. Then in the halfway, we started coaching participants, so we had 2 personal trainers, and participants were coached based on their health status, health risks, their aims, goals, and it could be diet coaching or exercises or mental well-being, how to sleep better, depending on the participants. And then in the last phase, we tried to add a social networking option in a small case. And we are going to biobank all the samples, all the data, so that other researchers can also use this data. So we haven't done it yet, but during the study period. So one of the questions was, do personal health and wellness data, gadgets, coaching, everything we have done, does it help participants to change their lifestyle? And in fact, if you want to know more, come to the poster, but the most important things were personal data, giving that back to participants, and especially lab data and withings data. Coaching was the third one. So personal data is really important, even though we haven't given back proteomics or metabolics data, but really just basic lab data. And when we began this study, so 68% of our participants had at least one of these. So really basic risk factors for chronic diseases. So I think this is important, so we should get our people in Finland to go to have a basic health check at the basic labs. This is what we can find in 100 people. I don't know when you have had your last check. But during the study we were able to lower that value, so 58% of the participants at the last visit had one of those. And vitamin D and systolic blood pressure were the best ones where we had significant results. So vitamin D went up and systolic blood pressure significantly down. In addition to those, we found 2 new type 2 diabetics, people with metabolic syndrome, with sleep apnea, and so on. So our participants, they were really enthusiastic about the study, and 76% said that, okay, I could do this again. And only 1% said that, no, not any more studies like this will be this. And 86% of the participants, they reported that at least one factor affecting health and wellness, they could improve during the study. And the biggest ones were diet and exercise. But I have more data if you come to see the poster. So one of the questions was how to return this data to participants. And for that we developed different tools. So we developed Terveystili health account dashboard, and this was the way how we collected data, for example questionnaire data, This is where we informed participants, and this is how we also gave the data back. And for this is also something I can show you. You come to the poster. So we developed different types of visualizations. We did visualizations from the questionnaire data, from fitness tests, from the lab values. This is for the sleep apnea. We had that kind of compass. We have activity watch data there. So this is what the participants received. Then we used cardio composite that has previously been developed at BIM. It combines a huge amount of genetic data, genomic data, and traditional risk factor data, and it's interactive. You can stop smoking and so on, see what happens to your risk. This is we used for cardiovascular risk. We gave them back their inherited risk for lactose intolerance, and then we also developed vitamin D compass during the study. And this, so this is based both on genetic factors and vitamin D levels and factors affecting vitamin D levels. And this was something that the participants really liked, even more than cardio compass. So we are really happy about this, and it really worked. More about that on our poster. Then we also developed another tool, which the guys, IT guys, they named it Coach or something. So this was the way how we could give to the coaches data on participants. For example, their blood pressure and lipid levels, so that the coaches could use that data when coaching. And this was also the way how we get data back from the coaches, what they have been doing with the participants, and how they have gone forward or not. So what we are next doing is we are trying to follow Snyder's and Hood's footsteps. So we are going to go towards integrated personal omics profiling. So the idea here is that we put lots of data together, all the data that we have, so that from individual we would know very well what is the state of his or her health. Based on that, we would catch, or we would know when things start getting wrong. Of course, we know if your blood sugar goes up, then we know that something went wrong. But we try to, well, we cannot do it using our data, but that's the kind of common goal. But what we would like to have is markers that we would know in advancement, so that this participant has a risk that at some point his or her blood sugar will go up. So we are looking for biological markers. And for that, we need more deep data, omics data. And so we have done genomics data, we are running proteomics, metabolomics data, probably also transcriptomics data, and more topics also microbiome. So we will, based on our 100 participants, we can say at least somehow what is the normal molecular profile of a healthy adult. And what we can say is that because we have done interventions, so we hope to see if something has happened there. So the next step is to integrate both these deep longitudinal molecular profiles, digital monitoring, but also the other health personal data types that we have collected.